Hello everyone. Now we're going to be talking about the rotation of the forearm when we play. So we already talked about when the arm comes up to the instrument that the elbow comes in toward the center of the body, and that helps the forearm rotate around so that the fingers can reach the fingerboard. Now we're going to be talking about the degrees of rotation. You might have heard one teacher say, well, the knuckles here should be parallel to the fingerboard, okay? And another teacher might say the knuckle line should be at about a 45-degree angle to the fingerboard. So let's examine, the discrepancy here. I think when teachers talk about bringing the hand parallel to the fingerboard, they're not talking about literally parallel. They're just meaning bring it in as close as you can. And the rationale behind this is so that the pinky can be curved. It doesn't have to reach that far when it goes down. And, while this makes perfect sense, I think there are some problems with this kind of a left hand position. For one, it really puts a lot of tension in the forearm. And if you are a beginning adult player and you didn't grow up with your hand twisted all the way around like this, then it is going to put a lot of strain there. The other problem, and I think this is eventually the bigger problem, is then it impacts how the fingertips hit the strings. Okay, so if you were to walk up on stage to any symphony orchestra and you lifted up the left hands of every player, you would see little lines, okay, indentations, where the strings hit the fingertip. And you would see a lot of little diagonal lines, all right? So all those diagonal lines indicate that the hand is at a 45-degree angle to the string. So if the hand is rotated around too far, then the little indentations on the fingers are going to be more, side to side, all right? The problem with that is then it puts this distal knuckle at an angle where when it's time to do vibrato, and you will get there, it won't be moving in the proper fashion. So when we do vibrato, that end knuckle is flexing all the time, and the hand is moving alongside the neck of the instrument. If you are rotated too far like this, if your knuckle line is more or less parallel to the fingerboard, then when this knuckle starts moving, your hand is moving away from the neck and close to the neck, and this just isn't a normal movement at all. So then what happens is players will stiffen these knuckles and start rocking from side to side, okay? And this isn't great either, because without that flexing going on in the knuckle, you're not going to have a really wide amplitude to the vibrato, and without a wide enough amplitude, it's not going to be really beautiful. It's not going to modulate the pitch enough to sound like a vibrato. So we do need that 45-degree angle when we use vibrato. That's how we're going to get the best sounding vibrato. So we want to set you up now so that you have, the best tone and most beautiful melodic playing later. So then, can we strike a balance? And, of course. So I play with, my hand at this very comfortable 45-degree angle spot. And then when I need the pinky and I need it, frequently, I just rotate in a little bit. You can see my hand pivot, and I'm just pivoting along there where that thumb is. There's a little rotation going on there at the thumb. And I just bring my hand in just a little bit when I need it. But if I don't need it, if I'm not playing really fast passages where I'm using pinky a lot, or particularly difficult passages, if I'm playing just a melody and I want my sound to be really, really beautiful, then I'm going to have a more relaxed angle so that I can get the maximum, amount of flexing here with the end knuckles, and then that's just going to make my sound more beautiful. So when you're doing your tapping exercises, when you're working on strengthening, then I want you to pay attention to these angles. And, after you do some taps, just look at the ends of your fingers. Make sure that those lines are diagonal. And then on the pinky, when you work on pinky, since you have to rotate in just a little bit, to comfortably get a good pinky finger action, that line is going to be not quite as diagonal as on the other fingers, but that's fine. That's completely normal. All right, so I hope this clarifies, information about our rotation, and just keep tapping.